Okay, so here we have this ad. You can see it really quickly. It was the peach one. She didn't want that anymore. She wants this new one that's on top, and I need to recreate like everything. So from here, I start out by making the path shapes at the bottom. We have a tool that fits a box to the dimensions of the page, which is like super useful. So I just make a box and then I cut it out with the path that I draw with my pen tool. And there might be other ways to do this, but that just seems to be like the more uniform and I don't know, the best way for me to do it. So I struggle a lot because whenever you remote in with these programs, I don't know what it is, but it like holds down the shift key or something. So it kind of messes up a lot of your hotkeys and you can't hit like front to back. Like I always shove stuff like to the back and then shove stuff to the front, you know? So anyway, you clip the path out and then like you clip the path for the wave and then I just go into Pathfinder and like bust it out and just leave it down there. So I turned it to black and then I turned the opacity down to like 50. Later I turn the opacity down even more, but then I go ahead and work on the red one and do the same exact thing, just layered on below that. And then I do the final last one, which is the brown one, but before that or the black one. I also started deleting all of that stuff out because it's just like getting in the way and I keep clicking it and it won't let me like click through the different layers, which is annoying. If you use InDesign, you'll know like that's usually a really like not easy function, but like you can do it. Like this remote stuff, oh my god, it sends me because you just can't. I don't know if there's like a fix or like a workaround. If anyone else ever has that problem, let me know, please, because it would definitely help me. So then I also noticed that this wave wasn't just opaque, but actually was like transparent to the one side. So if you hit Shift G, it'll do the transparency gradient. And you can actually drag it from the middle to the end and kind of give it that feather that it has. It looked kind of cool. It was whatever. So from there, I just keep moving on and change up everything else. So the lady's picture is at the top, where before it was at the bottom. And I didn't know entirely if she wanted me to switch that or not. So I just kind of like went with it. And since we were getting rid of the peach, I felt like the peach was like not a vibe and that it was not working. So I actually go in and decide to cut her out of that. I guess I'm kind of brushing ahead because half my screen is covered up by a recording logo, but I switched some of that text to whites just so it looks good on the black. A lot of it's kind of self-explanatory, I guess. I changed a lot of that font up too because the lobster I don't think was working either. Those fonts can be fun sometimes, but sometimes people just like normalcy, and I don't mean to say that in like a weird way, but like there's a very standard like there's standard things everywhere. Like there's just a standard for things. And real estate and like different people like that, they just want the standard stuff. Like they don't want anything flashy. So here I just hit quick select on her peach upside and then hit inverse so it gets the bottom of her. And then I actually hit Control W on my thing because it usually closes your program. But whenever I was recording, it somehow closed out the whole remoting program. So again, there's a lot of like remoting issues in here. It's kind of annoying. After I clipped her out, I put her in there and I kind of noticed it was like really bland and sorry, I cut the recording because my dog was going crazy, but I decided to edit the text because the client did say that she just didn't like it at all. So I wasn't given much direction as to what to change it to, but she basically just didn't like any of it, is what I assumed. So I just changed up as much as I could. Changed up the font. I noticed that she wasn't looking so hot herself, like clipped out. So I was like, let's find a better picture that's less pixelated. And upon going in the folders, there actually wasn't anything there. So I was like, whatever, it'll just have to work. And after that, I realized it was kind of bland and I wanted to put that little like community background looking thing in the back of her like the other one had. So I went to Metro and typed in suburban and just found something very plain Jane. It's literally just like a guy stretching, doing yoga, and it's like the back of his house, like is what I used. So I just put that in the back. I kind of like cropped it to where she is, like not necessarily her box, but like where I felt like was good. And I kind of did that blur, like the gradient blur there, because I thought it was gonna work. And then I'm like, no, maybe she wants this, like just specific. So I'm like, let's just go with this. And I moved it over a little bit, and then we are pretty much all done from there. Don't think I did anything else except we work from like a server, so I had to like collect all the links and then put them onto a server. So that much is like a little extra, a little bit, but oh, this is whenever I start decide to making the little phone thing and stuff. I looked it up at first, and then I was like, well, a mobile phone is literally just like a box with cornered edges at like 0.05, like point. I mean, it all depends, kind of. But so I just decided to make one. I was like, whatever, not too difficult, and I just made one. Here you can see the difference between the two.